here's an album that I did not expect that I would ever hear or ever even have to talk about. So this is a new album from Breaking Benjamin, came out today, called Dark Before Dawn. This is their first album since 2009, when Dear Agony came out. And, you know, the band, after they put out that album, you know, Ben, he had some health problems, and then he ended up having some legal trouble with his former bandmates, Breaking Benjamin. And, you know, it took years to settle that lawsuit. All over, they put out a greatest hits album in 2011, and some of the former band members, they did it without his permission, really, so he didn't approve of that. So it ended up being this lawsuit between the two, and he had to fight for the rights to use the name Breaking Benjamin. 2013, he ended up winning.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's when he started getting back into it, you know, and he started work on this album, and, you know, found 4 new band members.
Yeah. Whole new lineup, pretty much, except for him. And this album kicks ass.
Absolutely. I love this album.
Those other guys, because you didn't need them, Ben. Look at you. Look at you, you stud.
Let's get into what makes this album so great.
His albums are always instrumentally interesting. You know how some bands offer one or the other? It's either you usually get something very lyrically out of them, and then the instrumentals are kind of just hanging out in the background, or if the instrumentals are super killer and the lyrics are just kind of like accompanying, kind of like a Dragon Force kind of thing.
Right.
And this band has consistently put out records that are both dynamic instrumentally and vocally and lyrically. And Ben has mostly to do with that.
Absolutely, yeah, he's primary.
I think that this album, it really showcases that you know, even with 4 new people, he was able to write a record that could possibly be considered one of their best ones. Lyrically, this album is extremely dynamic.
Yep.
A lot of memorable tracks, ones that'll probably stick around forever. Breaking Ben has kind of almost a Killswitch-esque following, because they kind of have the same elements that band does and like provides to their fans. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The fans have a very deep attachment to a lot of these songs. You know, it's just the whole album was different.
Yep.
A lot of variety, which is really cool. I enjoy that. I don't like it the album just the same. You know what I mean?
What I really enjoy about this record is that all of their past albums are awesome.
Yep.
You know, for this band, and that was 3 different people that were with Ben. So now with the addition of 4 brand new people,
right,
they took that to a whole other level with this album.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't even need those, you know, those 3 other people that were
exactly,
in the band.
and that shows, I think, in my head, that he was the consistent factor.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He's the one calling the shots. I think you said earlier that he's 90% of this record, and that's absolutely apparent, because it doesn't skip a beat. It's like these guys never took a break, and that they were like, if anything, it's better.
I think it's the best they've ever sounded.
I don't know if it was because maybe they had some tension going on at the end before they released that last album. You know, that could definitely be, and we've seen that happen with a lot of bands. Bands that usually have lineup reforms are usually not the best.
No.
And so this is kind of a shock that this band hangs on as hard as it does, and you know, even with new people, is still doing it possibly better than ever.
I think live, I've seen them twice so far this year, and I'll see them a 3rd time next month. Live, they sound way better than they've ever sounded before.
Yeah.
And now I can say that, you know, on studio work, they sound better than they ever have before.
Yeah.
And then also, another thing I enjoy about this record is I really, really like the story that it tells.
Yeah, it's
you know, this whole idea that there's always, you know, for lack of a better word, the shit before things get good again.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you know, there's dark before dawn, like literally for like.
Yeah, for the first and last tracks are dark and dawn, so it's like this whole thing. It's like, and honestly, when I saw, I was looking at like the back of the thing, and it said dark. It was just like dark as the first one. I was like, well, dark before dawn. I was like, I wonder if the second song's gonna be dawn.
It's the
last song. And I was like, but I knew they were, you know, like, they're clever like that. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
And then the album, it talks, it not, you know, not it doesn't actually talk about it, but I can tell what he's referring to. He's referring to all, you know, the tension and the health issues and everything that was going on with this band before this album came out, and he's telling, you know, the whole story of all these past 6 years.
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
and you can tell that this has been a chronicle.
So he had
Of what he's
health
been
problems. He had tensions with his former band members, and you know all these legal issues. And now he's back with these brand new guys in his band. You know, and they kick ass. They sound great.
Yep.
You know, he's married now. He's got a kid now. So, you know, life's looking pretty good for him right now.
Yeah,
so
Ben's in good shape.
So this album title is definitely appropriate with the story that Ben Burnley was telling.
Those typically make the best albums.
Yep.
Ones, you know, where people have a story to tell. Much so like Lamb of God, you know, Randy, they got their new album coming out, and Randy, you know, this tells a lot of Randy's story.
Mm-hmm.
When vocalists has something like that, like motivating them or pushing them, it just makes for a different kind of work.
Favorite song is tough for me.
Yeah, seriously.
And before I had heard the whole entire album, you know, out of the 3 songs they put out Failure, Angels Fall, and Defeated.
Yeah,
Angels Fall was my favorite.
Angels Fall was my favorite.
But then, when I heard the rest of the album, when I heard some songs that I never heard before, it got tougher to decide.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I love the whole album, obviously, but I
Yeah.
really like songs like Never Again and The Great Divide.
Yeah.
Breaking the Silence sounds like old Breaking Benjamin
Yeah.
to me. You know, when I that's the first song you hear after Angels Fall and Failure and all that. And when I heard that, I got so excited. I said, "This sounds like old Breaking Benjamin."
Yeah. I definitely think that this band is going to be around for a little while longer.
Definitely now.
Now that they
You
got
know?
this much, it's like they've been reborn.
And, you know, I feel
Completely
like,
bigger and better than ever, you know?
and you know, these new guys, they jumped on board. They got into the band when the record was already almost done.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're on there obviously. You know, they're doing background vocals.
Well, he's
and
most of it.
He's most of it, but
Yeah.
this is the first Breaking Benjamin album where he's not doing his backing vocals. The other guys are doing it. There's 2 other guys.
Yeah, exactly. I was watching a live thing from them earlier today, actually, and I noticed that
Yeah.
it was from Rock on the Range,
Mhm.
and they had one of the, I think it was a bass player,
Him and then one of the guitar
and one
players.
of the guitar
does it.
players was doing backup vocals.
Yep.
And that's nice because you need to have that kind of like is an element that they've had consistently. You know what I mean? It's just like that
It's something. It's
multi-track
something they've needed. They've never had before.
Yeah, exactly. Live, so it makes it closer to the studio. They have 2 guitar players. They have 2 guitar players now.
2, and then Ben.
And then Ben plays
as well.
too. Yeah, exactly. So
3.
3 guitar players, so it's gonna sound nice and full. You know, their vocals are killer because they're all doing vocals pretty much. And yeah, you can definitely probably look forward to a lot of interesting studio work from them.
Absolutely. I think
so.
you know with these other guys, you know these other guys will probably contribute more with the next album, whenever that is.
No longer Broken Benjamin.
Dark Before Dawn
Is awesome. 2 thumbs up.